I'm Aria. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. So welcome or welcome back if you are new. So today's speed build is a pretty big one, if you couldn't already tell. So I wanted to do something a little bit different to what I normally do. And I was looking through Pinterest like I do every chance I get. And the things that I like to search generally are like building concept art or building cartoons or animation, something like that. They're a little bit different than just, you know, the normal things that I use to search, like just floor plans and things. And I came across a couple of different images of, I guess they were kind of Greek inspired, maybe. White buildings generally on the coast somewhere with blue tiled roofing, quite open, and they looked really pretty, and I wanted to do something very similar to that, but I couldn't decide between the 4 or 5 images that I had saved, so I basically just started building. And I had absolutely no idea what I was building. I just started with no kind of end plan, and the only thing that I did want is to have this kind of waterfall feature that I'm starting to build now, and I didn't really know how I was gonna go about it, but I am really, I guess you could say I'm very proud of how it turned out, because when I was doing this, what you are looking at now, I didn't know what I was doing. I just was hoping for the best. And I end up using, I think they're arches from Get Famous, I believe, and I use Tool to kind of move them around a little bit and make them sort of curved. I did originally want like almost like a circular sort of waterfall feature thing, but obviously that's not possible. And I did realize whilst I was trying to piece it together in my mind, I realized that circular wouldn't really work, mostly because of the angles, but also because then I wouldn't be able to have like a pathway or anything, because obviously we can't do circles. So I end up going with this kind of long curved shape, but I think it looks really great once I'm finished. I did cut out a lot of this because it took me a pretty long time to try and get the angles right. Most of them I think are actually in the like fountain level, and that was probably the only reason the only way that I could keep it so that the terrain was still like walkable, because otherwise they'd be like, you know, doing the whole shouting, waving because they couldn't walk. So most of it is in the, I guess, like the basement level, and when I go down into the basement a little bit later in the video, you can see one of them, I believe, looks like it's kind of floating around. So I was trying to make the, like, I don't really know what it's called, the bit that you can see poking out of the second one along. I was trying to change that to more of like a stone, and for some reason it wouldn't work, but eventually I do manage to change it. I think it's because I didn't have any buildings down at the time, but yeah, I think I do change it to a stone a little bit later on so that it's not just like a weird white background. But most of this is just me trying to decorate it and make the edges where it kind of just touches into the fountain not so visible, because they kind of were annoying me a little bit because you can see the edges. I tried with the island living waterfall thing, and it was just too big, and these things for some reason they don't scale. Like with Tool you can't size them down or anything, you can size the footprint down but not the actual item, so I had to go with this one, which is pretty big. The actual item itself is huge, but you know, I managed to make it work. These are just kind of little fountain things. I was trying to make it look like the water was, you know, bouncing off the rocks. I don't know whether that's the kind of effect, it just kind of looks like this fountain sticking out of the rocks, but you know, I think it looks okay. So it's currently almost 6 p.m. where I live, and it's still like 30 degrees, and I don't know whether technically we're in summer yet, or maybe we are because it's now December. I'm not sure, but it's a bit scary because that means that, you know, come January, February time, January especially, it's going to be so much hotter. Last year, I think the hottest day we had was 42, and I'm from the UK, so I'm not used to it. I'm not used to it yet, and even though I've been here 2 years, like, it's still quite a big shock when it is suddenly that hot. And you know, to record this, I've had to turn all of the fans and the aircon off, and it's not fun. It's not fun. But anyway, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. So now I am trying to do like the round thing that I mentioned earlier that I was trying to do with the waterfall thing, but I decided that I would instead do like a round balcony of some kind. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just placing random stuff down. Generally, I find that if I have a plan, or if I'm going off of like an image or a floor plan, or even just an idea, sometimes I can't build, and I don't like anything that I do, and I put too much pressure on myself, and it's just a not good experience. But in this case in particular, I just kind of started building, and I had no idea what I was doing, but it just tends to work for me. I don't know why. Please ignore my Sims name. I have MC Command Center, and it likes to marry my Sims to random people, and in this case Cassandra Goth got married to Max Villarreal. I don't know. I don't play in this save, I just build in it, so I don't really know what happened there. So this here, I was trying to decorate the like the foundation piece, because I didn't like the look of it, and it was just like a big eyesore just kind of stuck there, this big white concrete slab thing sticking outside of a hill. So I wanted to try and make it look like it blended in with the rest of the building, and at this point, like I said, I had no idea what I was building, so I didn't really know what I was blending it into. And I do later change pretty much all of the swatches for all of this, but I really like the way that it turns out. I've never used the blue roof tiles before, and I originally was going to go with more of like a Mediterranean sort of look with the like terracotta tiles, but it just looked a little bit too, I don't know, samey. All of the color swatches and everything were all like very orangey and very the same, so I quite like the blue ones. They really make it stand out, and they match the water, which I like too. So these two little houses down here, I kind of had in mind for, I don't actually know whether I even said what I'm doing. So this build is actually a palace. I don't think I've mentioned that yet. So these two houses I kind of had in mind for like staff, I guess. So if you have the vintage glamour, I think it's the vintage glamour pack, you can hire like a live-in butler, and I kind of imagined that they would live in those two houses. I don't really show you too much of them because I do change it quite a bit later. And those curtains on those windows, every time I did anything structural, they disappeared. So you might see me put them back several times. I think I cut most of it out, but yeah, if you see me put them back, it's because they like to disappear or jump halfway back up the wall. So this is or will be the entryway to the castle, palace, whatever you would like to call it. Yeah, again, no idea what I'm doing. I'm just like putting random blocks down and just kind of hoping for the best. So I posted a picture of this on Twitter, I think maybe a week ago, and somebody commented on it and was like, oh, it really looks like what the is it the Garden Palace? Is that what it's called? From Game of Thrones. Well, what it was meant to look like in the book, and it kind of, I didn't know what it looked like, and I couldn't remember from the series because I haven't read the books, and so I started watching it all again. And it wasn't intentional. I didn't mean for it to look like anything from Game of Thrones, but after that person commented and said that it kind of did, I have to agree, it kind of does. But not that I'm complaining, because, you know, I really like Game of Thrones, and it's a bit of a compliment to me, really. So up here is where I kind of decided that this is the roof style that I was going with. I don't know why I picked that roof style. I've never used that roof style before, and you know, like the domed kind of curve look, I don't think I've ever done it, but I thought it looked really cool. And it wasn't until I came to this section here that I then was like, oh, how am I gonna translate that onto onto that piece down there? I do manage it, but I don't know, it looks a little bit strange to me, and like the same one here, these look a bit odd, and I don't know why. I think it's because they don't quite line up properly with the pre-made room shapes, and I don't like having gaps anywhere, so I think I later trim it with a fence, but yeah, I don't know, the gaps just bug me. So even though this is the biggest lot in the game, and you know, this palace isn't the biggest. I think it's got 3 bedrooms, so it's not, you know, it's not huge. There's not really that much room inside, and to get to the top floor, the stairs are actually on the back of the building outside. So it looks a bit strange, so I do apologize, but it, you know, you can't see it from the front, so it's fine. So I have left this in, but a little bit later on, when I came back to this after a couple days, like I saved it, came back to it a couple days later, and I honestly thought that they had fixed the disappearing terrain paint glitch, but apparently not, and yeah, all of this terrain paint deleted, and yeah, so I had to redo all of it. I was really sad because, you know, I only included a little bit in this video that you can see, but I actually spent several hours like blending it all in and making it look kind of natural-ish. And yeah, it all got deleted. So this here, I'm basically trying to rebuild the house that I'd already built, but on a diagonal, because I wanted to add another waterfall in, going from like the front part of the palace, which actually is the side of it, because I've put it on the side, so then I could have like a big pond, or I guess I use the pool tool, but like a big pond from one waterfall that goes down into like the pool, and then like those big ones down into like the little pond thing down the bottom. Does that make any sense? I don't know, you'll see me do it later. But yeah, basically I wanted all of this section here, even though I'm covering it in dirt now for some reason, I wanted all of that to be pool, so I needed to move the houses along, and with it kind of face on, it didn't fit. So yeah, this is all of my lovely blended in terrain. Oh, never mind, I do redo it, so it's fine. So yeah, here I wanted to make like the whole thing a pool, but then I wanted a bridge over the top, so what you can see right now is me trying to put a bridge in, and I don't know why you can put, if when you do like the, you know, the trick that you can do like the second floor and then lower it down and then they can like walk over things, you can do that like completely over a pool, but you can't do it over a pond. And I don't see what the difference is, but basically the game won't let you do it, and I didn't realize that you could do it this way. I thought that you couldn't, like you can with the ponds. I don't know what I'm talking about, just ignore me. Basically there's a bridge across the pond. But later on I changed this out to, I think it's a base game debug bridge instead of this one, which I believe is from Cats and Dogs, I don't know, but anyway, I change it out because you see, just changed it like magic. Because I was a little bit annoyed with the fact that it was floating and the like supports for the bridge didn't go down far enough. They just kind of sat on the water and I didn't like that, so I ended up going with that one because I could hide it a little bit easier. So I'm now creating the pond up the top to add in the other waterfall. I basically do the same thing as I did before and take the debug waterfall, angle it so that it's the top part is on 90 degrees, because as you can see here it's not 90 degrees. I don't know what angle it is, I'm no good with angles, but basically it's now at 90 degrees, and once I can figure this whole pond situation out, it basically looks like, you know, cascading waterfalls, which I thought was really nice. And the fact that it actually works, like the waterfall feature I suppose actually runs, I think looks even nicer. So I add in a couple more of these arches because I didn't like the fact that there was a huge gap behind the first one. And I later take out one of the arches that I put around on the like circular section, because right now it's pretty much covered up, so there was no point in it being there, so I just delete it. And I really like the tool features that they've probably been features of tool for a while now, but I only discovered them whilst I was doing this. I was having real issues with the waterfalls, since I don't really use the tool mod for anything other than waterfalls in this, but I basically didn't want to have to select all of them individually all the time, and I've seen other people do it and I didn't know how to do it, so I then went and watched a couple tutorials and people doing it, and realized that all I needed to do was hold down the Alt button. I don't know why I hadn't figured that out, but yeah, basically you just hold down the Alt button and then you can select multiple items, and that was just like magic to me. So yeah, and I didn't really know what to do with these stairs because none of them matched, and I was trying to find a flooring that matched the top of the bridge, but there wasn't one. And I would really like it if we could have terrain paint and tiles that were the same. Like we have just two, and that's not enough. We need more. Because there's a couple of tiles that I really wanted to use, but I couldn't because they didn't match the terrain paint, and it was just, it wasn't fun. But anyway, we're just adding some decorations now. So here on all of the paths actually, I do this with the rocks and just lower them down and angle them slightly so that they kind of border the pathway, I suppose. So this here is, I guess like a family crypt. Is that what they're called? I think you'll see in a second. You can tell me whether I'm right or not. So I have been watching, I'll tell you the full story. I've been watching a YouTuber called Aria-fae. I don't know if anybody else knows who that is, but she has a royal family series on her channel. She does other things, but that's pretty much the only thing on her channel in kind of large quantities. I think she's got like, oh gosh, how many generations? Like 10. Basically she's been doing it for a while, and I don't know how I found her. I think I was just going through like different suggestions on YouTube one day, and she just came up, and I was like, oh, this looks fun, and basically just watched and then binge watched like 2 full years worth of videos, as you do. And yeah, and I think she's got 3 videos, and she was basically touring like other people's palaces and things, and that's basically what inspired me to do this build in the first place. But this particular like family crypt, mausoleum, memorial, resting place thing, and I thought it was really cool that a couple of other people had done it in the video tours that she did, and you know, and I thought if you are playing like a legacy challenge in general, but in particular a royal legacy challenge, you will want somewhere to, you know, put all of the like the headstones and things for all of your previous like monarchs, I guess. So I really liked the way that somebody had done this sort of thing, where they'd put the like pedestals down, and then they'd put like the pedestal what am I talking about, the urns, sorry, on top of the pedestals, and then they had like a picture or something on the wall above it so that they knew who it was, and I thought it looked really cool. So that's basically why I did this. I added a bathroom down here too, because I thought it's quite a long way away from the main building, and you know, generally Sims are a bit stupid and don't go when they need to, and they wait until they're like, you know, absolutely desperate. Which I can relate. So yeah, I just thought it was a good idea just to put a toilet down here. I probably should have put a fridge down here too, because most of my Sims like to wait until they're dying of starvation before they go and feed themselves, or I have to do it for them, which, you know, I probably should, but I have autonomy on, they should do it themselves. So I really like these rugs. I was originally just going to use carpet, but the squares were wrong, and it made it look too big, so I just went with this nice carpet instead. And now we are just on to more landscaping. So this build is fully furnished. I don't include it in the video because it would have made this whole thing probably like 3 hours long. I actually had 11 hours of footage that I had to cut down, so unfortunately furnishings had to be deleted. But I do include screenshots at the end for you if you would like to see how I finished it. It's very, very simple for me, at least, because well, otherwise this probably would have killed a whole bunch of people's computers because of how big it is. So I didn't put too much detail into the furnishings. I've just kind of left it as it's everything's there, like it's fully furnished, it's just minimal in terms of, you know, what I normally do. But yeah, anyway, I will let you enjoy the rest of the video, and the screenshots is on the gallery if you would like to download it. Make sure you have move objects on, because, you know, things like to go missing all the time, especially in this. But yeah, let me know what you think, and I will see you all next time. Bye everyone.